Yeah. So, yes. So, as most of you already know, I am Srilakshmi NS. I am the organizer for Bangalore OutSystems community. I work as an assistant manager in KPMG India. And if you have any queries regarding the session or regarding any OutSystems topics, you can reach out to me on my Gmail or over LinkedIn also. Okay, so we had our first session of the masterclass regarding ODC, where we had discussed a basics of ODC. We got an introduction, and the session was very awesome, and we had it delivered from Krishnambal from Chennai user group, and we had the quiz session too. And these are the 8 winners, and now these participants will have high chances to win the exciting prizes at the end of the masterclass. And this is our second session, so where we will get deep dive into the ODC architecture, event driven architecture. So, and others here, even you have a chance to win the prizes, whether be a swag kit or a gift voucher or a certification voucher. So it depends, and it is mandatory for you to attend all the master classes. So those uh, who were present in the first session and this session, and also who will be present in the last session of masterclass, will be eligible to get the prizes. So now out of these 8, Mayur is the top one now, and the others are standing in the top 2. And other participants of this session will also have a chance to win the prizes. So you will pay attention to the content which will be delivered by our speaker. And regarding the content, we will have a quiz session at the end of the session, and you will be having a chance to win the prize. And we have a speaker with us, Neha. Over to you, Neha.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Let me just try starting my camera. Okay. Hi, everyone. Um, Good afternoon. I can see many people have joined. Welcome to the session. As Sri Lakshmi said, we are going to have the second session of the masterclass today. That will be about ODC, right? So, yeah, right. That's why some people are joining um out of India as well. So, good morning, or from where you are joining. Okay, you're joining. I'm getting the option to share my screen, Shilakshmi. I'll just share my screen. Just let me know if you
That's
can see
great.
my screen. Okay,
Yeah.
entire screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the topic for today is unveiling. The topic for today will be about Masterclass 1.2, that is about ODC components, event driven architecture, and advanced features. Right? So, ODC, I believe, as this is the second session of the series, first session was all about the basics of ODC. So, you might, those who have joined today, you might be having some idea about the platform, ODC platform. Okay. So today we are going to see some more things about ODC, which will become the foundation for um, understanding the event-driven architecture feature of ODC. Okay, so okay, Sri Lakshmi had already used this, done the introduction. So let's get started with the agenda directly. The agenda will be, as I said, we'll be starting with an overview of ODC. Then we'll move forward with the architecture fundamentals. We'll cover some basics of ODC elements, how event driven, how the architecture will lead, for an event driven foundation. Okay, then we'll have some question and answers, and at the end we'll have quiz. Okay, that will be the agenda for the day. So let's get started with an overview. Odyssey, as you might have attended the first session or you might have heard about it already, Odyssey is a cloud native app development platform that is going to provide a modular, scalable environment where we can develop and deploy our applications. Okay, this is the formal definition I can say. Okay, then whatever you can do in O11, we can build and deploy enterprise grade mission critical apps in weeks. Okay, in Odyssey, but this same thing we can do in O11 as well. But in Odyssey, it is again some improvement has done is there, and because of that, it has become more easy to deploy, to develop, to build the app in a certain way. Okay, so with ODC, you can build web apps, web portals, mobile apps, and business workflows faster than the traditional development tools. Okay, and you can deploy your apps in a scalable, secure, and high performance environment. Okay, I'm not seeing the chat option, guys. So I just want to know. I have a question for all of you. As you have attended the first session, I just want to know, what do you think is the main difference between the app creation in O11 and uh, in Odyssey? You can give in the chat main difference in the creation of app in O11 and in Odyssey. That's correct. We don't have modules in Odyssey. Perfect. We don't have modules in Odyssey. So the development happens at the application level. Okay, earlier in O11, we used to develop application. Inside that we had modules, and whatever development we want to do, either screens, logic, database, we used to create inside modules. But that's not present in Odyssey. In Odyssey, we're going to deal directly with apps. We'll be doing everything inside app. And what is exactly available um, inside these apps? Okay, so in ODC, we create, either we can go with web app or we can create a library. Only these two options are available. You can either go with web app or a library. Okay, so what is available inside a web app? When we talk about web apps, you can create, a timer. And since this is a slide that is available that I got, uh, but this screenshot was taken, it is old now. If you see the Odyssey portal, Odyssey Studio now, if you go to Odyssey Studio now, inside web app, under the first tab, now it's called events. Under that, you'll find, along with timers, we also have events in it. Okay, that is also added. So inside application, you can create timers, you can also create events. Okay, then when it comes to interface, you can create screens like we do in O11. You can create all these things: external site, block, image, theme, script, similar to O11. Okay. Similarly, when you talk about logic, we have client action, server action. Okay, exceptions: rest, consume, and expose, both. We have roles. Apart from that, in application, you will also get service action, which was earlier available only inside service modules. Now you get that in the web applications. Okay. Then under data, you will get everything. It can be, you'll find entities, static entities, structures, entity diagrams, client variables, site properties. Now we are going to refer to them as settings in ODC, and then resource. So everything like O11, you'll find everything inside web application that we can build in ODC. What is the difference then, right? Between a module or an application. So when you talk about a module, okay, it was an O11, it was based on O11, right? So when you talk about a module, you get these elements, but with every element, we had an option that whether you want to make it a public element or not. Okay, and that was the basics for creating architecture, right? If you're saying that a server action is public, that will create a reference, and that reference will be a strong reference. That, that's how you will build architecture, that this particular element is consumed by this module, that will create a reference. And that is the basic of creating architecture. So when you talk about ODC, these things are clearly defined. If you go inside your ODC studio, under logic tab, I can see client actions and server actions. I am inside my web application. We are talking only about web application. So inside this, I can see server action, client action. Okay. But if you try to create a server action, you see public no, and I cannot change it. So by default, the server actions or client actions, uh, whatever you are creating here, the you cannot make them public. That's a restriction. Okay. But if you create a service action, a service action is by default public and you cannot change it. Okay, so the base of the architecture, they are trying to create it, right? It's like, in that way only we'll be creating the architecture. You cannot share a server action, you cannot create a client action. You cannot share client or server action, but you can share a service action. Okay. What do you think is the difference between client, sharing a what difference it will make when I'm sharing a client or server action, or when I'm sharing a service action? Difference when I'm sharing a client or server action, or when I'm sharing a service action. Okay, everyone can see my screen and can hear me properly. I got one message saying that.
Yes, Neha, you are clear. So I have asked
Yeah.
Hari to rejoin.
Okay. Thank you. You can, okay. Service create loosely coupled. Correct. Correct. That's correct. Service action, they create a weak reference. They're loosely coupled. Whereas client actions and server action, they create a strong reference. Right? So,
Uh, Neha, one second. So, guys, while putting the answers or your interactions, put it in the chat. And if you have any questions and queries, you put it in the Q&A section. So let's not get confused because we are going to address the Q&A at the end of the session. You can use the chat for putting your responses. Thank you. Yeah, Neha, you
okay.
can continue.
Yes, thank you. So, like all of you said it correctly, service action, it creates a loose. They are loosely coupled. They create a weak reference, whereas server action and client action, they create a strong reference. So, if you think about any element that is creating a strong reference, okay, you cannot share that when it comes to apps. But if you think about an element, say screen is an element which will create a weak reference. That's why you can share it. Allowing sharing screen is allowed. Sharing a block is not allowed. Okay, so they are trying to create the foundation properly. Okay, with this type of restriction, they just want that inside apps, through apps, you can only create weak references when you're sharing apps. Okay, so that's about inside application. Now when you talk about libraries, they are very similar to the library module, okay, that we had. Very similar but not exactly similar to that. Okay, very much similar with the library module that we used to have in O11. So inside library, you can create blocks. You cannot have screens, you can only have blocks. and all the rest of the elements. When it comes to interface, when it comes to logic, you have client action, server action, and you can think of libraries as the foundation element. The purpose is very similar. The reason, or while creating libraries, what you should think uh, is exactly what you think when we are creating foundation modules. It should be business, it should not be business specific, right? Business agnostics. Reusable, it should be reusable, very highly reusable. Okay. And they are mainly used for connecting with the external system. So while you are while you want to connect to external system, you have to consume the APIs, right? That is something that is required. We just need consumption of the data, sorry, the API. There's no need of exposing the API. So you don't get an option to expose an API through libraries. You can only consume APIs. Okay. Then we have client action, server action, and exceptions. When it comes to data, you have entity diagram you can create. You can only have static entities. You can have structure, settings, and resource. Okay. Elements are restricted, or you can say limited elements are there in library. You'll not get everything in library. But at the same time, you know, if you see, let me go to library. This is my library. It has only three tabs, so it's very similar to library module. You can only have blocks inside it. And when it comes to logic, you get only client action and server action. Integrations, you can only consume an API, you cannot expose an API. Okay. And when I'm creating a server action, that is, you can decide yes or no, whether it is going to be public or not. By default, as it is highly reusable, that will be, only public server actions will be adding in it. So that's something that is for sure that will be there, right? Okay. So now through library, inside library, we have client action, server actions. We can consume an API. We can have blocks. You can have static entities, structures, or settings, all, these things. So the point to note here is libraries have element. If those elements are shared, they will create a strong reference. Unlike web application elements, only those elements are allowed to be shared which are creating weak references. But when it comes to library, you can share elements; those are creating only strong references. Okay. Let's see some more differences between ODC and O11 by task. So when you want to configure I think this must have been covered in the first session. So we are just going to do we'll just review it and go to the next slide. Okay. So it's like you just have two tools when it comes to ODC. Okay, unlike O11, we don't get lifetime, we don't get service center, right? We don't have users console as well. In ODC, it is very much sorted. We just have uh, ODC Studio where we are going to develop the applications, and then you have ODC Portal where everything, okay, that we were doing in Service Center, we were doing using Lifetime, we were managing users with Users Console. Everything you will find here in ODC Portal. So only two tools are there: ODC Studio and ODC Portal. Okay. So, um, what all things like app configuration management, these things we used to do in Lifetime. For example, uh, if you are having a site property while you're deploying the application, you used to do through Lifetime, right? Give the default values in the next environment. That those things we used to do through Lifetime, but in ODC we'll be doing that through ODC Portal. You just need to go to the apps, and from there you can do that. Then while creating mobile package, when we were creating mobile package, we we could do that using Service Studio. We can do that using Service Studio, Service Center when it comes to O11. In ODC, um, mobile packages are created in Portal. Okay, Portal means the admin console that we can open in the Chrome in the browser, and Studio is something where we're going to code. Okay, so deploy whatever, it's very simple. Tasks you can we used to do in Lifetime or Service Center or User Console. Those tasks are now done in ODC Portal. Okay, all of three these tasks are combined in one portal, that is ODC Portal. Only difference is mobile package. Earlier we used to create through Studio also. Service Studio even Service Studio we get an option right in O11 to create the package, but in ODC you can create the mobile package through Portal. Okay. Then another difference that I would like to point out is when you are sharing, giving access to particular screens. So if you go to Studio, if you select a screen earlier, um, when we want to give access to a particular screen, to a particular role, so we just get some those roles listed here, and we used to tick those roles. But in ODC, now it's like you get another option called authorization. Under authorization, you get accessible by, and there you have to choose whether it is accessible by everyone or it is accessible only by authenticated user. And then you can select the user. If there are multiple roles, they'll all be listed here. You just have to tick. Okay, that's one of the difference. Apart from that, anything you any task you think of that was done earlier in Lifetime or Service Center, that will be now done in ODC Portal in ODC. Okay, simple to understand. Now, reusing elements across apps and libraries. So I've shown you different elements which are present in apps, elements which are present in libraries, and how, which elements can be shared, which are not allowed to share. So when it comes to sharing elements, reusing elements across apps and libraries, you can see this diagram. This is an application and this is the library. So between an application and a library, you can share. Application is always going to consume a library. Okay, library is not going to consume application. Library can only consume other libraries. Okay, application is going to consume elements from library. Library is going to be the foundation module. It's very similar to foundation module. Okay, so the nature of library is like it will be highly reusable. Elements of library will be used by applications. So when application is trying to consume elements from library, the elements that are allowed to be consumed, they only create strong reference. Remember, so between application and library there will be a strong reference always. Okay, similarly, since elements inside library, they are of such nature that they will create a strong reference only. So even if a library is consuming another library, the reference that gets created is a strong reference. Okay, but when an app is consuming another app, when an app tries to consume another app, what can be consumed? It can consume a screen, it can consume an entity, it can consume a service action, a static entity, or a structure. In that case, a weak reference is created. Okay, now one thing to note here is, static entity or structure, they are there in both type of reference. In static entity, you can see here, static entity is there. Well, an application is consuming a library. Static entity is there. Static entity is there when an application is consuming another application. But the type of reference that is created is different. Here it is creating a strong reference, whereas here it is creating a weak reference. That is because when it comes to library, Static entities are not mapped to database table. So it creates a strong reference. But when it comes to an application behind the scene, it is different. But when we are operating, when we are using them through Studio or through Portal, we'll not see the difference. Developers will not be able to see the difference. But the in reality, a strong reference is created if you are consuming a static entity through library. A weak reference is created if you are consuming a static entity through application. Okay, and from application you can actually expose and consume REST APIs. Both totally, or both are possible. But through libraries, you can only consume the REST API. Exposure is not allowed because libraries, what we expose, the data, right? We can expose data. Data is not there in library. Data will be there in application only. So exposure is not allowed or not required in library. Okay. Mapping terminology. Okay. So environment, we used to call environment in O11. Now in Odyssey, we'll be referring to the same concept as a stage. Will not refer to like development environment, right? QC environment, production environment. We'll call it stage. Okay. Similarly, reactive web app. Now we are in Odyssey. We call it as web application. It's reactive application only. We are going to call it as web application only. Module. This concept does not exist in ODC. Site properties will be referring to it as settings. Okay. Okay, that was about the basics of the elements, how we can consume, what we can consume, the references and everything. Now let's talk about deployment. Uh, no, let's talk about publishing first, then we'll go to deployment. So when we talk about publishing an application, um, in ODC, apps we are first going to package them inside a container, inside a loosely coupled container. So apps are packaged inside loosely coupled containers while publishing. Okay, and once published, once it is packaged completely inside the container, it is ready to be deployed. Okay, so while we are publishing an app, it is packaged into a loosely coupled container. If you are having two apps, both of them will be coupled inside different containers. They will be packaged inside different containers. Okay, upon clicking on one click publish, your application will be packaged into a loosely coupled container. If there are two applications, you'll have two different containers. Okay. Then when it comes to libraries, when you want to publish a library, how it is published. So library is packaged inside the container. Okay. Libraries are packaged with each consumer app. Consuming elements from libraries create a strong reference. So libraries are packaged inside the container of the application itself. So if this library is consumed by two applications, it will be packaged inside the two applications separately. Okay. Libraries are packaged along with the application inside its container. That's something that is very simple. Okay. Uh, but important to note. Okay, let's talk about CI/CD now, the deployments. So now we know that everything will be packaged inside a container. If there is a library and an application is packaged inside a container, if there's a library which is consumed by the application, that library will be packaged along with the application inside that container. Okay. So now this will happen in the development stage, and then the container is deployed. We have a container ready that is deployed from development to quality, and if needed, quality to production whenever required. This makes the deployment faster. Okay, because we are not compiling the application in each of the different stages. We're not compiling the application again and again. We're just deploying the containers. Also, development only happens in development stage. Any changes, publishing only happens in development stage. You cannot publish in quality or production. That means if there is any change when it comes, if there is any change in the production environment in the production stage, you have to redeploy. You have to do the changes in development stage, package the changes inside the application, then deploy to QC, then deploy to production. Okay. So while deploying, you can select which. Now this was one of the, if you go to ideas, okay, we used to give a lot of ideas, right, to OutSystems team. Many of those ideas are implemented in OTC, if you observe. See, one of the idea was service studio should not be service studio, it should be OutSystems studio. Now they have named ODC studio as OTC studio. Similarly, there was a suggestion that we should be able to apply, choose the version of the module that we want to deploy. So here you can choose which version of the module, which version of the app you want to deploy. Okay, and you can choose that, and you can choose the revision. And once you have chosen that, then just like in O11, how we when we used to do deployment analysis, impact analysis was done by Lifetime. Similarly, impact analysis is done by ODC portal as well. The app that we are trying to deploy, what will be the impact of this deployment? Okay, the target stage. All these analysis are done internally in the ODC portal. You can see that you'll get the warnings and you know the 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 notes that you should see all will be listed here. Okay, that was about deployment, guys. Now let's see some configuration settings in ODC. So configurations, as in um, those elements that require some configurations. Those elements we are going to talk about, those elements which requires configurations to be applied. For example, timers. So when we are creating a timer, there are two things associated with it. Um, there is a schedule property of the timer, that is a configuration property. So if you remember in O11, when we used to delete or move a timer, we used to lose that property. Okay, the schedule property of the timer. Similarly, site property, that is a configuration settings. Then we have rest endpoints, again a configuration settings. How they're handled in OutSystem in ODC. That's what we are going to see. So when we are having, say, let's take a very simple example. Say I'm having a site property. In ODC we call it a setting. So I'm having a setting in an application, and I am just deploying that application from development stage to QC stage. So the setting property is, if you go here to the portal, you'll see apps. Choose any application. If we have test applications, test API app. Okay. So if you open any app, you see configuration here, right? Here itself, you can set the settings. If there are any site properties, they will be listed here. If there are any consumed REST APIs or REST APIs inside your application, all of them will be listed here. Okay. So at the app level, you can define the value of the setting here. So when you are deploying an app, the value of the setting inside the application in the development stage can be different. When you're deploying it to QC, the value of the setting can be different, and similarly, value of setting in production can be different. Okay, so every setting of your application can have a different value in each and every stage. Just like site property, right? The feature of site property, it's the feature of site property. You can have different values. It was environment specific. The values were environment specific. Same thing they're saying here. Okay. Now, what we need to focus or understand here is what if this setting is present inside a library? Okay, let's assume that there's a setting called API token. API token is a setting which is consumed, which is there inside a library, and this library is consumed by application 1 and application 2 both. So this library is consumed by application 1 and application 2. Now what will happen? This particular setting can have different values. See, this library is going to be packaged inside a container of this application. Again, another, you can say the library is going to package inside application 2 as well. There are two instances of the library at this moment. Application 1 can have a different value. It's a complete different instance that is packaged inside application 1. So it has its own scope. Uh, the API token, the setting will have a different value in application 1. Similarly, API token setting can have a different value in application 2 because it is having a different instance of that library packaged inside it, right? So this API token can have different values in two applications, plus it can have different values in each stages. So that's what this diagram is indicating here. API token is having a value as ABC in the development stage of application 1. Similarly, for application 2 in the development stage, the value of API token is XYZ. Now, when we are deploying, can have a different value in quality stage, can have a different value in production stage as well. Okay, that was about settings or what we call as site property. Now, site property, there's another important property related to site property that was secret. That's maintained in ODC as well. So when you create a setting, you can set it whether that setting is secret or not. So you can choose that is secret. Um, okay. So an application, when you are having a site property setting inside it, you can choose whether it is a secret setting or not. So if it is secret, you can see that while you are trying to see the settings in the ODC portal, that value will be hidden, though you can change it from there. Okay, but the value will be hidden as it is a secret. It is kept as secret. So Slack token is a setting which is there inside a library. Slack. It is this library is consumed by application, and the value of this Slack token we are going to give at application level. Values are configured at the application level. So at the application level, when I want to change the value of Slack token, the original value, current value, that will be hidden from me as it is a secret. Okay. Similarly, REST endpoints. So when it comes to integrations, if you are having a library, configuring library integration points inside a library, if you are having any REST endpoints, those REST endpoints can be overridden when the library is consumed by applications. Those REST endpoints can be overridden by applications when they are consuming the library. Okay, but remember, if you are having a REST endpoint, if you have created a REST service inside an application, Now that REST endpoints can only be accessed by this application. Okay, only through this application. You cannot access that REST endpoint. You cannot change the REST endpoint's value from any other application. Okay, but in case of library, if you are having a REST endpoint, a consumed REST API here, the value of the REST API, the endpoints of the REST API can be overridden where in the applications where you are consuming the library. Okay. Okay. Now the next thing is about rules. So like I was saying, the configuration, there are three configuration settings mainly. First was setting, second was REST endpoints, third is roles. So let's talk more about roles here. First of all, I would like to ask you, if I'm having a role, admin role. Okay, now let's talk about O11. I'm having an admin role, which I'm going to share between, um, say, four apps. So, can we share the role in O11? What do you think? Okay, have some chat. Can we share roles in O11? Can we do that in, okay, yes, no, yes, we can. Yes, we can share roles in O11. Okay, correct. Yes, we can. That's correct. So, what about ODC? Can we share roles in ODC? What do you think? Okay, I'm getting answers. No, yes. Okay, let's go back to studio. We will have to create same in application. No, if it comes under service action, we can. Okay, no, guess it's not possible. Okay, right. So if you see here, I am in my application into logic tab, service action, and then I have role here. Okay, so this role, I don't have any option to share the role, right? I'm not getting any option to share the role. That means sharing role is not possible. You can only create roles inside application. Let's see if we go to library. Okay, you cannot create roles in libraries. You can only create roles in application, and that too, sharing roles is something, we don't get that public property here. That's not uh, that's not possible. I'll not say not possible. You can have a service action created. There's a workaround. Okay, that's possible, but explicitly OutSystems is not giving you an option to make this role as public. Okay, if you want to share a role between two applications, there's a workaround, like what is allowed, which element is allowed to share between application, that is a service action. You just have to create a service action. Inside that you can have, grant, revoke, check, all these things, and you can use the service action, um, consume the service action in other applications also. That is totally allowed. But what if you have many applications using service action for just granting role, for accessing role, that can cause performance issue. So this workaround should be avoided. How roles are handled in ODC? It's very simple. They are directly saying that um, earlier in O11 we used to create common roles in core or in foundation if it is used by more than one application. Obviously, we have to move it to the theme module or the foundation layer. But in ODC, roles are created only inside application, and they are saying that if you are having a role which can be used by two or more application, create that role in that application, create a role with the same name in that application, grant a user to grant the user both the roles through user. That user will have both the roles in both the application. You we can attend the same feature, can get the same feature. Okay. So in ODC, uh, what they're saying is roles are not public and you cannot be shared between apps. So you cannot share roles between apps. Earlier, we used to encapsulate, and or there's a workaround it, encapsulate role related logic in service action, reference the action, and use them in other apps. But this can cause performance issue. That's why it's like the no, the it's not recommended, I'd say. Instead, create a role with the same name in all the applications. Okay, create a role with the same name in all applications. Inside each app, use the local check role action. So we get check role action. Okay, this check role. Using that, you can check whether that person is having that role or not. Grant access to all rules for each user in ODC portal. So for the user, for those user you wanted to create the common rules, right? Grant them the access of both the rules from both the applications. Okay, so you achieve um, properly the you'll achieve the same feature, right? You don't have to create common rules. Okay. So when it comes to ODC architecture, we say that it's an event driven architecture, or it's an architecture which is suitable for, which is very similar to microservice architecture. Why? Because in ODC the concept, we'll see that, maybe you will see that in the coming masterclass sessions, but I would like to just give you an idea here that when it comes to making application in ODC, the structure of apps is such that if you go to the architecture here, the structure of apps and elements is such that between apps you can only have weak references. Okay. So have you heard about, or have you ever worked upon the domain specific architecture, domain based architecture that we had in O11? How many of you are aware with the domain based architecture in O11? Rule ID will be different, right? That will be different for sure. You have to handle that. So I've asked a question. How many of you are aware of domain-based architecture that we can have in O11 also? Okay, got one answer. Okay. Others, domain-based architecture, though we used to not follow it that much in O11, but it was possible to create domain-based architecture in O11. And your ODC architecture is similar to that domain-based architecture. So if you understand domain based architecture, ODC architecture is similar to it. It's all about, there will be different applications, small applications. Yeah, sure. So domain based architecture is nothing but you'll have different applications, and those applications, between the applications, it will be always weak reference between the architectures. If there are modules, now I'm talking in terms of O11. If there are modules on which one application, modules are dependent, those modules can, if they have a reference to it, there'll be always a weak reference, so that when I'm deploying an application, it will not impact other apps deployment. I don't have to deploy the references also, because weak references, you don't need to deploy them while deploying. But strong references, when you're deploying an app, there's a strong reference. You need to deploy the app on which my app is dependent. I need to deploy that app as well. But if there was a weak reference, there was there's no need of deploying the app on which my app is dependent. Okay, that's what the basics of domain based architecture. Uh, each domain will have the apps. There will be multiple domains. Okay, so I can show you that. So there will be multiple domains. Okay, so think this is one domain, second domain, this is third domain. Inside this domain you can have apps, different apps. Okay, so there will be one or two apps inside this domain. So every domain there can be some apps. The apps which are inside this domain, those apps will have strong references with each other. Okay, so inside the domain the apps are tightly coupled, but when it comes to different domains, okay, here these are weak references. So if my app is dependent on an app from another domain, it will be a weak reference. This is what is a domain based architecture, and it is very similar. It's very similar to ODC architecture. You might see that in the third session of your masterclass, your applications in ODC are going to be similar. Okay, the app architecture will be very similar to domain based architecture, and that is because of the fact that you cannot, in between the apps, only weak references are allowed. And these two apps are, they are packaged in two different containers. But when it comes to libraries, between an application and a library, there are strong references. An application and library, they are packaged inside one single container. Okay. I think that is it from my side. That will be the basics of your ODC architecture. Okay, the how the elements, what is the sharing, what are the app architecture, basis of app architecture, architecture fundamentals basically I've covered. So that's it, guys. That's it from my side. I think we are open for Q&A, right, Shilakshmi now?
Yes, Neha.
Okay.
We have a couple of questions.
Role ID will be different. Like I said, it will be different. You need to manage that. Security of the apps. Sharing roles via service action. Yes, it can, right? And it see, I don't think it will affect that much, but it can hamper the performance of your application. That's why it should not be allowed. It should not be done. You can avoid it, right? We have some options to avoid it. Admin applicable only for one application. What does this mean?
No, that
Is
was a response for your question.
okay. Okay. Well, that said, at each stage, we have to change setting according to our requirement. You can change setting according to your requirement. It's very similar, right? Site properties for the same thing. Site properties you can configure. Yeah, we used to give value for each and every environment. It's very similar to that. Considering libraries and foundation layer, where should we keep or write the core business logics and data? See, it's very simple. If you are having any concept that is highly reusable but business agnostic, keep it in library. Highly reusable but business specific, keep it in application. We don't have any other option. Okay, we are not going to follow the three layer architecture here. The architecture is very different when it comes to ODC. Suppose I have created a customer role and I want to use the same role for two applications. How can I achieve this? I think I've answered it. You just need to create two roles. Service action was not part of O11, then why again OS introduced it? Also, we can do such tasks using server actions. Only difference between them are coupling. But server actions we cannot share right here in ODC. Okay. Service actions are REST API calls only, right? So it's very similar to that. They're just internal REST API calls. Sharing block is restricted and sharing screen is allowed. Will that not cause site reference in end UI application, breaking the architecture good practice? Sharing a screen creates a weak reference, right? But a block creates a strong reference. And when it comes to the rules of architecture, second rule was site references are not allowed at the end user layer, but there was an exception, weak references are allowed. So it will not affect, right? And like I said, the three layer architecture is not followed here. Loosely, strongly coupled. So loosely, strongly coupled. It is like if I'm having and say server action, uh, if you take server action, um, anything in O11, not let's talk about O11. So in server, if I'm creating a server action in O11 and I'm sharing that server action, I'm creating the server action in core module, using that in reactive module. Any change I'm going to do in server action, I need to refresh the module of my consumer, refresh and publish it again just to get that change. Okay, because it is tightly coupled. So any change I'm doing in the producer, I need to refresh the consumer to get that change. It is necessary to refresh it. But when it comes to service action, there are two things. There's a definition of the service action. What are the input parameters? What are the output parameters? And that's it, right? And inside that server action, how I'm implementing that service action, that I can define. So if I'm changing anything in the implementation, I don't need to refresh the consumer module. But if I'm changing anything in the definition, refresh is needed. So that is a loosely coupled thing where changes does not require to republish it. It's very similar to call by reference, call by value if you are aware of that concept in high code. Okay. Then loosely coupled by server action is tightly coupled. We don't have modules in ODC. Traditional web apps are not possible in ODC. No. That's why they're saying, right, reactive web app. Now we are going to call them as web application. That's the only option. Is there any way, sorry, to update other user details like username and other details in ODC? Is there any way to update user details? I think that's the thing, right? So users are available here. It's not no longer managed in user console, and you don't get user entity there. So users are managed here. If you go here, so right now I'll say ODC itself is in, it's not that much mature. It's under, there are some features which are still developing, like we don't have processes added yet. So for sure, I think there will be we'll need that option to update user. So there should be there an option to do it. Right now, I don't know, but there should be an option to do it. Okay, or they'll be introducing it later in some time. O11 to ODC. As a developer, as a developer, you will know, exactly, like I said, you will have a knowledge of domain-based architecture, right? The microservice, how microservice architecture works. Okay, are companies using ODC currently for development? So I don't think so. I'm not aware of this fact. How will I know, right? It's not. It's not. I'm not sure. But there were some projects which were started by OutSystems themselves, and many people, which was in ODC, and people were working on it. So OutSystems themselves have started some projects on ODC. That is there. Are they are into O11 still, or they are into O11 still?
So, Aditya, I would say
Okay.
there are some companies which have taken the ODC license and they are in the exploration phase. And if they feel it is feasible, and if they feel that it is better than O11, right? Like the customers will not easily agree to migrate to ODC, so they will have to experience. So some of the partners of OutSystems, I would say, they have got the ODC environment and they are in the exploration phase. And if they feel that is feasible for them, then they are adopting. Even though ODC is not having all the features, as Neha said, they are yet to introduce the processes and also the user updation. So all those things, some of the features which are still under development, but some of the companies are ready to adopt. And I don't know whose question it was. They were asking, as a developer, the advantages of getting migrated to ODC from O11. So I would say, like, since you don't have the, you know, the main concept of architecture, right? So whenever you have the three-layer architecture in O11, you have to look after all the strong dependencies. And whenever you create something and whenever you make some changes in the role or the server actions, you have to come back and refresh the dependency, and it is an added task for the developer. But in ODC, since we don't have the concept of strong dependency, that main concept of refreshing the dependency will get eliminated. So since we have the weak references, so it makes the developer life easy. Okay. So, yeah, many of you are asking about the recording link. Soon I'll share it. So, yeah, Neha, you want to address anything for the last?
No, no, that's it. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Neha. So, it was a great session from you and it was very informative. I hope this session had helped all the participants over here. So, before moving on to the next part, I would appreciate if you are comfortable to switch on your camera and show your smiling faces, so that I'll just capture a photo and we will showcase that on the social media. It would be great if many of you could turn on the camera just for a while. I'll take a snap and I'll I'll let you guys continue your work. I don't see anyone. Okay, I would take it as maybe you are not comfortable to share your.
Video is disabled, they're saying.
It's disabled.
That's what they're saying. The chat.
Ah, okay. So Mhm. Okay, I guess while joining, maybe. Okay, there is an issue in the Bevy link then. That's okay. So, thank you at least for confirming any free voucher available for certification from Aditya. Okay. So for ODC, so there will be some training sessions and training period that OutSystems is gonna announce. I think from past 1 or 2 years they are doing that, and during that period, you will get the ODC environment for free for 2 weeks. So where you will be asked to develop two applications, and if you do so, you will get a free certification without writing an exam, and you don't have to pay anything for it, but you have to wait until OutSystems announces the slots where you can register for the uh, the training, and you have to complete the training videos on OutSystems which are already available, and then once you complete the development of two applications, you will be receiving the certification. And the basic requirement for that is you should have the reactive certifications already done. So the last slot which was announced in the um, April or May, where I got the recent certification. So let's move on to the next part. I'll take the screen. Okay. So, as most of you already asking where we can get the recordings of the previous sessions. So, this is our Bangalore House Systems community user group is having a YouTube channel where you will get the recordings of all the previous sessions of all the events that happened in. So, you can go there and visit the channel, and you can have a look at all the recordings. So I'll give 2 minutes of time if you want to scan the QR code and keep it for your reference, and then we will move on to the next part. I'll wait for 1 more minute, maybe, and meanwhile I'll just try to post the link in the chat. Okay, so there is link in the chat available for your reference, and coming to the feedback. So in order to improve our event quality, so your feedback really matters. So you can give your valuable feedback over here by scanning the QR code, and if you want, I'll give the uh, link to you for the easy runs, and where you can click and give your feedback. And I would appreciate each and every one of you if you provide your feedback, but because it will help us to deliver a quality event in future. So this is the link where you can provide your feedback, and I will wait for maybe 3 minutes, because we are going to start the quiz in another 3 minutes, and 3 minutes is for you to give your feedback, and I'll wait for you to confirm me over chat once the feedback is given. Please ping done in the chat. As soon as I see many dones in the chat and see the feedback is submitted, then I'll move on to the next session quiz. You have another 2 minutes to give your feedback. Okay, I see only one done. Okay, so I'll wait for one more minute. Thank you for those who are submitting your feedback. I appreciate if everyone could spend at least 2 minutes for giving the feedback. I see a lot of dance now. Okay, so before moving to the quiz, I would uh, try to explain how it works. So this is the first time we are having a different way of launching quiz in Bangalore OutSystems group, because previously we were not having the Kahoot. So now we have tried with a new platform to host the quiz. So as soon as I move to the next slide, so there will be a QR code similar to the one which you are seeing now, and also the link that I am going to paste it in the chat, so you can access that. And the first two questions will be your full name and the email address. Make sure you give a name which you have used for the registration, and also the email id which is used to register for this session. So once you fill in your name and your email address, you will be having 10 questions, and you will be having 10 minutes to complete the quiz. And there will be no timer in the quiz, but I am going to take out the responses exactly after 10 minutes, and I'm going to give you the timer alert of 1 minute before the quiz ends. So exactly at 10 minutes, I'm going to take out the responses, and only the quiz answers will be valid which are okay, yeah, so which are submitted before 10 minutes. Okay, I hope it is clear. If you are clear, please confirm me in the chat so that I'll move on to the next slide, and you will get enough time to complete the quiz.
I think someone has raised hand. Teresa.
Yes, Teresa, I have granted you the presenter mode. If you want to speak, you can unmute and speak. Okay, I guess I consider that was by mistake then, and I will move on to the quiz part, and I'll have the quiz link ready so that it is easy for me to put in the chat. Okay, so here you go. So this is your quiz QR, and the link I am going to put it in the chat. You have 10 minutes. Now it is 4:14, but I would consider it as 4:15, and you will have the time till 4:25. You can go ahead and scan the QR and start giving your answers. And as a reminder, I would say, so it is important to attend all the sessions of the masterclass. So we had the previous session and this session, and we will be having one final session. So in order to have a chance to win the prize, you will have to, it is mandatory to attend all the sessions. If not, if we don't get any top 3 winners from this, and those 3 winners are haven't attended 3 sessions, but they have attended most of the sessions, I would say. Like, for example, there are 3 persons, the top 3, and they have attended the 1 and 2, and they have missed 3 and 2 and 3. So we will take the best of 3. All the best, you guys. You have exactly 10 minutes to complete the quiz. And maybe once you are done with the quiz, you can also put done in the chat just for the confirmation. And also, while accessing the link or the QR, if you are facing any issue, please let me know in the chat, because this is the first time we are hosting this type of quiz. So and I trust you guys, you won't Google. So I hope you remember the content delivered by Neha, and it was very clear, and I hope you will answer it very easily. You have another 8 minutes. One, once you are done, don't forget to put it in the chat. Nice, I see. Many of you are very fast and you don't need 10 minutes to complete the quiz. Nice. You have last 5 minutes to complete. I see lot of duns than the feedback. Okay, so you have last 3 minutes. Let's end at 4:24 because I see lot of duns and it's okay to. We have last 2 minutes. You have last 1 minute. I see some of you, Damini and Chandrasekhar, are facing some error. Can you try re-accessing the link and submit your answers for those who are facing the error? Okay. Okay, so we are done with the time. So those who were facing error, I'm really sorry. Like we can, I guess, 2 to 3 of you were facing the error. Did it happen from the beginning or at the end? I mean, in the middle of your quiz. And I have exported the responses and the submissions after 424 will not be valid. So I have the results already. Okay, and to know the winners of this particular session, make sure you attend the next session where I am going to share the winners list and those who are eligible to win the prizes from OutSystems. And I thank each and everyone over here for making out your time and attend the session. I hope this was useful for you, and thank you, Neha, for the wonderful session, and it was very informative. Thank you all.
Glad. I hope everyone feels the same. You got something from the session. It's weekday, right? It's not a
Yeah,
weekend. I hope it was informative for everyone.
yes,
Thank you
because
so much.
weekend people will have the plan, so I made it easy for you people to make out some time and attend in a weekday and just done with the session, done with the technical things, and enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the quiz results, Aditya, you need to attend the next session to know the quiz winners. Make sure you attend the next session. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.